Go live.
Hallo, I'm Isis Collier and I live in the Netherlands. Ik ben Isis, ik ben 22 jaar en ik ben de zus van Selene. Op de wc. Eeuw. Dat is disgusting. Oeh, zo is een stuk. Ja. Godverdamme! A stick with chocolate. A chocolate stick. Oh, bloed. Ik moet echt maar denken. Ik word helemaal rood. I love this. Oh. Woe. Oh.
네, 여러분 안녕하세요. 오늘도 이렇게 생방송을 시작하게 됐네요. 네, 오늘 보시다시피 이렇게 우리 동생이랑 같이 방송을 하게 되었고요. 네, 이승환님 안녕하세요. 네, 그래서 오늘 먼저 일단은 아마 제 채널 많이 보신 분들이 있어서 보신 적이 있을 수도 있는데 근데 일단은 한번 자기소개 부탁드릴 거예요. 네, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today in our live stream, as you can see, we are here with our famous noodle eater, Isis. She's my sister and we are twins, and of course people who have already seen my channel many times, they already know how who she is, and so but let's just please introduce yourself.
My name is Isis Collier and I'm the twin sister of Selene. I work as an actress, dancer. I dance. I'm sometimes modeling, presenting, and I study film. So I study how to make film, how to write scripts, how to edit, how to basically everything. And that's basically me in a nutshell. Yeah.
How long have you been, like working as an actress, like modeling, like that kind of job? Like since when have you actually started to do that? Like I can actually not remember, like how did you start to do that?
Well, I think I started after you left to Korea, because I started just after we graduated high school. And basically we went to it's called like a vrije school, which is a sort of, I don't know how to explain that in English, but it's like a different kind of school because they're really focused on like art and drama. And we every year, like to finish the year, we did like a play. And I usually play like a pretty big part like in that play, and I really liked it. But then I started swimming and my whole focus was on swimming, and I basically like forgot about acting and the whole thing. And then we moved to like Australia, and everything was so different in Australia already that I was like, why not try like drama class in high school? So I did drama in high school and I really liked it. And then I just made a profile on this website called Star Now. And I just, I think I did like, my first job was like an extra type of thing for a commercial. And I really liked it, just being on set and being with all those like people. That I was like, I want to do this. And I think this was about like 5 years ago. And after that, I basically fell in love with acting, auditioned for like bigger roles in like short films, and it basically on, and I still do it. Yeah. So it's about 5 years, but I think you can still remember that I did some small stuff in the last year of high school in Australia, right?
Yeah, I remember. And do you have
Yeah.
any projects going on right now? Are you working on something, or are you have something big coming up? Because last time we talked on the with a face call, there were some interesting things coming up. Are you able to talk about that or not?
Well, I probably won't be able to talk about like the storyline, but it's a film, and I've got like one shooting day in July, so in about a month, and the location is in Germany, so that's pretty exciting. And yeah, so basically, it's a film, and it's going to be in cinemas next year. I think literally next year, like June next year. Um, And so I think this is probably one of my biggest projects that I've done so far, but I don't want to like go into too much detail because I don't know like how it's going to turn out and how everything thing is going to work out. You know, maybe something changes completely. But yeah, what I can tell is that it's a film about the Second World War. So that's basically what I can uh, tell. And apart from that, just this weekend I've got some shooting for a short film that we filmed prior to the lockdown, because here in the Netherlands we've been in lockdown like for the last 7 months, I think. And it's just starting to like all the restrictions are just like being, I don't know, like how would you say it? But yeah, we've been in a lockdown for a very long time, so we couldn't like finish the project. And this weekend, we finally can finish like 99% of it, and I think we only have like one scene left.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, it's a really fun project. It's quite because last time we shot, it was we had like a call time of 5 a.m. So 5 a.m. in the morning. So that was really early.
That's really early.
Yeah, but luckily this time it's more like a night shoot instead of a very early morning shoot. Yeah.
And you have, of course, like lived in the Netherlands and in Australia. Like, which country do you prefer? Which country would you
Australia.
Australia, and why? Why would you prefer Australia over the Netherlands?
Oh, well, it's funny, like, because I've lived in the Netherlands for 17 years, of course, before, like, prior to moving to Australia. But, like, because right now we live pretty close to the place we lived before, because I'm back, like, we moved back to the Netherlands about 3 years ago. But when I'm, like, driving through, like, my old city, basically, I really don't have any feelings at all. Like I don't miss it. I don't have I don't like homesickness or anything like that. Like I really don't thinking about like Australia and where we live, like Brisbane and Brisbane City, Fort Place, Chapel Hill. When really thinking about it, like sometimes you really get emotional, and I would love to go back. And yeah, you know, because of course you haven't lived there that long because you moved after like 1.5 years. But I don't know, Australia, it's the whole vibe. It's like everything. It's like it's a beautiful like nature wise. So yeah, like traveling is really beautiful. Just living there. I don't know, it just felt, even though of course you still have to work, we still had to go to school, it always felt like a holiday, like we're on vacation. And here it's people are like so stressed and busy with work and always like hurry, 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 like getting somewhere on time. It's such a, and there over there it's more like, oh well, you know, don't worry if it doesn't finish today, you can finish it tomorrow. Like I don't know, it feels so relaxed. And yeah, yeah, it's I think Australia is the kind of country you kind of have to live to like know what it is and know what you're missing, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know,
So
like how,
Nether-
like I don't know how you would like compare it to Korea, but that's basically what I noticed, like comparing it to the Netherlands. So yeah. So I don't know, like, what's the difference between like Australia and Korea?
Uh, well, as you actually said, like in Netherlands and Korea are quite similar. I heard in their working ethics. Like also Dutch people have, of course, like a lot more that they want, like quickly and like you have to be on time. You have to, like the stress of working, and that is why actually like Dutch people are quite okay working in Korea, except maybe the whole hierarchy of like the working place, the working environment, like that is maybe what can be more of a problem for Dutch people, because in Dutch people have more like everyone is equal, like everyone should have the same, like kind of say. And also that is probably why a lot of people think maybe Australians will probably be like, Korea is too like everything goes too fast. Everyone is too not really like too stressed, and I would actually agree on that too, because actually I maybe because I'm more Dutch, and that is why I also didn't really like living in Australia, to be honest. Like I never really felt at home there.
Really?
So yeah, like I don't know. I always like was like, oh, I don't like really living here. Like I like my friends. I liked, like living like that kind. But I didn't like the people, like the mentality of the people.
Oh
And
wow. Yeah.
you didn't know that? Oh, so yeah. So that is why. But maybe that is because I am more of a stress chicken. How do you say that in English? Yeah, in Dutch
Yeah.
we have this expression like stress skip.
Stress chicken.
We have this expression like stress skip. So,
Yeah.
and in English it's translated as stress chicken basically. And
Like
so
very
maybe
literal, like that's very literal, but I don't know, like there's probably a word, but I can't like think of it right now, but there is probably a word like something, but you're like basically always stressed and worried about like work or anything like that. Yeah, but I can like it doesn't, I don't know, like there is probably a word.
yeah.
Maybe someone in the comments knows
Please,
the word.
please let us know. Please let us know the word for stress skip. Okay, but I get a lot of questions actually about like viewers, but also for friends, like because we are twins.
Yeah.
How is it that I live in a completely different part of the world, in a completely different time zone, like as a twin? How does it feel? Does it feel like, well, how does it feel to know that I live in a whole different part of the world and that you cannot see me like every day, and like, how does it feel?
I don't know, like because we've always been not that like connected, as in, and we haven't been like, always wearing the same clothes or always like doing the same thing. Like we've been always like individuals, if you get what I mean. Like we've never, because we went to different high schools as well, and we did different sports because I was swimming first and you were like horseback riding. So we always had kind of different interests as well, and I think that was also something that our mother really wanted to like do, because she was like, I want to really make individuals and not that people see them as like twins. Like I have to admit that because that's, I'm not answering the question right now, but that like every time when you like go, like we go to you or you go to us, like in Australia or in the Netherlands, that every time I'm, yeah, I do, like it feels weird when you're gone, like in the first like couple of weeks, but after a while, you're just picking up your own like your own life, and you're actually just like living in your just going to school, work, everything like that. And and it's also because we can text, we can call. But yeah, it's like right now it's been like a year since you've been to the Netherlands, and then I noticed that I'm like, I wish Selena would come back again, just you know because it's still like really far away. And so yeah, like I don't know, I didn't really feel like being twins makes that different or something. Also because we've been quite individual and quite like, independent, like compared to each other. So what we did. So I don't think it's ever really been like weird or something, but it's like, yeah, I do really enjoy when Selene is back in the Netherlands, and
So cute.
I
Hi, Dana
so and
Kim. Nice. Thank you for being in our live show today. Well, like because a lot of people also is like, do we have twin telepathy? Of how do you say that?
yeah, okay. Well,
Do you think we have that? Because
I don't know. Like, have we ever like really felt like something and then something else happened? I don't know. Like, I don't. I wouldn't know. Do we?
I don't. I mean, I like. It's not like if for example, if I get hurt, like you hurt in the same place. But I think we might have
Absolutely.
a stronger bond about things. Like for example, if something bad happens, like we can feel like something that like bad happens, or something like foreshadowing, like having a bad feeling about something, and then some really something happens like that. I think that is it is like, but not like, oh, let me think. Okay.
Yeah.
What is his thinking? All right, like it's not something like that, It's more of maybe some kind of feeling, but I think it's also because, of course, as a twin, you have to share the same room. You have shared, basically, in 9 months. Like, of, I think maybe, yeah, maybe or not. I don't know. It's an interesting topic.
It's definitely not that that I have the feeling like, oh, that I constantly know what Selene is up to. Like I sometimes dream about Selene, but it's not like I know what she's up to, or I don't know. Like it's not like we can think the same thoughts or anything like that. It's not that elaborate. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We get that question, I think, quite a lot. How does it feel to be a twin? And to be honest, we don't know any different, right? We don't know any different than being a twin. So I don't know what it would be like to be an only child, or to be a child with brothers or sisters that are younger or older. So I think, yeah. One thing that we did really have is that, especially when we were young, we were like really close. And I can remember one time that we went to visit like a friend of our mom's, and the friend had a daughter as well, and she had like those Bratz dolls. I don't know if you can still remember that. And
No, I
because
don't remember.
we didn't have Bratz dolls, I think. And I can remember that, like, her room with like all the Bratz dolls, and playing like with the Bratz dolls with her. We started, and she was just sitting next to us, just not really playing with us, because we were like so in with each other, and like playing with the Bratz dolls, and we had like a whole storyline already figured out. But because we had like really our own way of like playing and stuff like that, and other people didn't really like come into that, because we had our own thing, really. So yeah, that's one thing that I can remember that really, like, oh yeah, of course, that was like, I think, okay, that's like twins. And of course, when we were younger, and this is really young, so it's about like 4 or 5, we had our own language. So we didn't really speak Dutch, we just spoke with each other in made up words, really.
True.
Um,
Yes. I know
that's
that
what
one. Yeah.
that's why we also had to do like a like what is it called, like grade 1 to something like that. We had to do it like longer, because we didn't speak Dutch correctly. We just spoke like, I don't know, a different language with each other, or like not really with anyone else.
Yeah. Like
Pre-elementary school or something, we had to do like, for the people do that 2 years. I don't know.
Yeah, kindergarten.
It was a year longer at
Yeah, we had
least.
to do kindergarten like one more year. Oh, thank you
Yeah.
for saying yes. 네, 맞아요. 지금 네덜란드에서 지금 점심 시간이라 지금 이슬스가 너무 배고픈 것 같아요. Are you really hungry? Because it's now in Netherlands time. It's of course lunch time. Did you have lunch?
Am I hungry?
Yeah, are you hungry?
No, I had prior to this live stream, I already had some food. I already had lunch. Just an early lunch because it was like, because I had the same like thinking because I was like, okay, usually I like lunch at 12, but this live stream is till like 1, but that's too late. So I'm gonna be here like making weird stomach noises because my stomach is gonna be like making like some wheel sounds or something. So it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna eat a little bit earlier. At least I won't have like I'm not hungry. So that was my train of thought. But I already eaten, so I'm not hungry right now.
박기범님 안녕하세요. 네, 지금 그 동생은 대학생이고 영화학과인가? 영화학과예요. 네. 혹시 또 다른 질문 있으시면 언제든지 물어보시고, 그래서 혹시나 제가 영어로 어떻게 물어보는지 그거는 잘 모르시면 한국어로도 그거 물어보시면 되고 제가 그냥 통역해볼 거예요. Yeah, they were wondering, because of course we are twins and we have the same age. So someone asked if you are also a university student. And you are.
I am, yeah. Oh yeah, I study something completely Selene, because you're studying political something diplomacy.
Yeah, political
Sci-
science and diplomacy, which is totally not my interest, but whatever.
Yeah, I study film, so film and audiovisual media. So basically filmmaking, script writing, editing, all the technical stuff, even though that's really not my cup of tea. Like I'm not that technical, and if we have to do something technical, like for my studies, I had to make a documentary, and it's almost finished. Like I'm editing it right now, and I work together with a guy that's really good at like camera work, and I work together with a guy that's really good at like sound and mixing and stuff like that. So all the technical stuff I give to people who are like more technical than me, and I usually do like the concept, script writing, and directing. Basically, I really like directing as well, so that's basically.
Okay. And someone is interested, someone wants to know if you are also interested in Korea. Do you have like the same kind of interest that I have in Korea?
Not the same kind of interest as Selene, no, absolutely not. I think it's a really interesting country, but right now I have like we did talk about it if I would like move to Korea and live with Selene for a year just to like check it out. But then I would have to learn the language as well, and I don't really have like the time and the patience to learn like a completely new like alphabet and language and stuff like that. Like it's not off the table. Like I'm not like saying like I would never go to Korea or anything like that. But I would love to like go to Korea again, like just on a holiday. But I've got like so many plans to go to like because I want to go to America as well. Want to go to back to Australia, to Korea, and yeah, so so many like plans. But right now with the whole Corona thing, it's not really like it's a bit difficult because I don't want to go to I don't know how like strict Korea is, but I've heard from Selena that you've got to go like into a lockdown or not a lockdown like a quarantine for 2 weeks.
But
Like it's not really worth it, or it's not like right now. It's not really worth if you want to go to on a holiday to first go into quarantine for 2 weeks and then maybe like 1 or 2 weeks, right? So and I think Australia isn't open for tourism as well. I don't know like how much is possible in America. So right now it's a bit like I don't know, like just waiting it out.
But like you've of course been to Korea like one time. Like what did you like the most about being in Korea? What did you
Ooh.
like, or what were the
Well,
like memories? What are still like memories from that trip?
um, well, what I really liked, well, let me think, because we went to Seoul and we went to Daejeon.
We also went to much
Um,
more cities.
we did. Oh, I really like the very old city, like the really traditional city,
Jeonju,
where we also got like the really traditional dish.
Jeonju, Buyo.
Uh, could
Which
be.
dish do you mean?
There was like this really like old city, and we got like this bibimbap like restaurant that's really
Ah yeah,
traditional,
Jeonju. Yeah, that was
right?
Jeonju. Mhm.
And we went to this festival that was
Yeah,
really beautiful
the
as well.
Lotus Festival in Buyo. Yes. Mhm.
And well, I also did like two classes at 1 Million Studio. That was pretty fun as well. And what else did we do? Like I just thought I can remember we when we were like in Seoul, I can just remember that like we were in like the metro and there was like you went like over the river. I don't know, maybe Seoul has many rivers, I don't know, but we went over a river and it was just so beautiful because there was like the river and the river you had the river here and we went over the river and on this side there was the city and on this side there was like all the mountains and the forest and it was just really beautiful. Like I don't know, it looked real. I don't know if you can remember where that is in Seoul.
It's probably Han River. It's like that's the biggest river like in Seoul. It is like across the
Yeah.
Seoul, and like you have like Gangnam, which is south from the river, and you have Gangbuk area, and that is like the north part of the river. So
Yeah.
we probably went over like the Han River. Yeah,
Yeah.
at night, like when it's like sundown. How do you say that in English? When the sun is going down, can be really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, like even though like Korea is like like Seoul and stuff is really busy, didn't really feel like that busy. I don't know, like when it's busy in the Netherlands, it's really like packed and you're like, oh my God, why is everyone like and like pushing you around and but it didn't really feel like it was busy, but it didn't feel busy if you get what I mean. Like it didn't feel like so overwhelming or something.
Really? I cannot really.
And then maybe because people are more polite, that can be because people are quite rude here in the Netherlands. Like,
Yeah, I think it also is indeed has a little bit to do because we of course were a group of four foreign people, and of course Koreans are a little bit afraid of foreigners, to be honest. Because
why?
like it's something that annoys me quite a bit because like I am living here now already like for 4 years, and I speak pretty good Korean, and sometimes it just annoys me that like I understand like a lot of Koreans don't speak English that well, and they are afraid of foreigners like for some reason because they're afraid they have to speak English, and so sometimes like Koreans don't engage, or they are like avoiding foreigners because they are afraid of them, like I
Yeah.
think I
Well, you can use it. You can use that to your advantage when someone doesn't expect you to like speak Korean, and like you can hear them like I don't know gossiping about you or something saying about you, and then you can just be like, when you walk away, you can just say like one Korean word, and just they'll be like, shit. Like use it to
no
your
swearing on
advantage to
broadcast,
gather
no swearing on
information.
broadcast.
What?
No, but like yeah, I sometimes hear like when I'm walking, especially these days in Korea, there are a lot of cases of foreigners or like acting strange. Like what was it? There was a few last week, was it? I think there was this American soldier who beat up some guy on a parking lot, like the ajashi who was like ajashi is older men, right? And he beat up like this ajashi who was like guarding the parking lot, like who had to,
Yeah.
and some drunk military guy, he beat up this ajushi because there was some disagreement or something. Or also like I don't know like which holiday that is, but in America there's apparently like some Memorial Day or something, and in Busan there were like so many foreigners without a mask just celebrating, and it kind of like gives foreigners sometimes a bad name. And sometimes when I'm like in Daejeon and I walk on the street and I hear people say like, oh, the foreigner or something like that, like I hear them mention the word foreigner. It really happens. It really happens. And I'm like, and then I, because I hear like the word foreigner, and then I watch over and I see them like looking back, and I'm like, yeah, they were talking about me.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. Like that could be because but people beating people up is like in the Netherlands it's like pretty common. I think it's it's not. But here it's like everyone. It's not like only foreigners or only like Dutch people. I think if people are beating people up for sports, I guess it isn't them.
Yeah,
But yeah, like the Netherlands is a lot less. It depends where you live, but there are like really like neighborhoods and cities and stuff like that are like, I don't want to generalize, but like there are some people that are really unsophisticated and will literally like make trouble just because they have nothing else to do. Like I think it's always a little bit pathetic when you're like, like getting yourself in trouble and like harassing someone just because you've got literally nothing to do. But yeah, that's you've got a lot of people like that just. I think it's always a little bit funny because like the Netherlands is such, in comparison to a lot of countries, it's such a rich country. It's such like a country that really there are so many opportunities. Like everyone, if you want it, you can like get so much. Like you can go to classes, you can like develop a talent. If you want to, you can like do all that. And like, but there are also a lot of people who don't really, I don't know, don't really work for anything. They're just like, okay, well, I don't want to reach anything in my life. I'm just gonna make trouble or something like that. Like that mentality. Like you're in a country that has so many opportunities, and then you're gonna waste your time. Yeah, stuff like that. It's a bit. I don't get it. Like.
Yeah, I mean there are always.
It's not like you.
There are always weird people on this planet, I think. But I was wondering because also like a lot of other people are wondering because of course you have also me. Someone in the comments says they are niet snutten.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, like we have experienced Dutch education system, Australian education system, and I am of course experiencing now like the Korean education system. From your point of view, like which education system, like where do you prefer to go to school? What like some Australia?
In my Australia, and here is why. In the Netherlands, it's called like sessiescultuur, so that people really, only work to get like to pass the class. So do the bare minimum, and get like a 6 or 5.5 because I don't know like how it works. But in the Netherlands, you get a grade from 1 to 10, and 10 is like 100%, and you usually have to get like a 5.5 to pass. That's like a sufficient. In Australia, you've got like A, B, C, D, E, E, right? It's like A, B, C, D, E.
I don't know. I can't know.
Because I don't think we've got like F. I think it's like till E. Because F is American. But in Australia, you can get like an A, like a normal A, but that A can be worth less or more depending on the average of the class. Like if you've got like an A minus and an A plus is like the highest you can get. If you've got an A minus, but the rest of the class has an A, your A minus can be worth less than when you've got like, I don't know, a B in a class that has an average of like a C plus, because it's in comparison to the of the grades that what your a grade is basically worth. One is very motivated to like a good grade, or at least like most students, like of course not everyone. You still have Nietsnutten Australia, but people are like a lot less, a lot more motivated to really like how would you call it, to really like get the best grade, because that's gonna get you a better OP, and an OP is an overall position at the end, really. And besides that, in like in those, you really have got like this exam at the end of high school that really everything depends on that exam. I think it's like for every subject you've got one exam and you have to pass that exam. Otherwise, you probably won't graduate. But in Australia, your grades from the last year, so grade 12, year 12, they all count for your final mark or your final grade. So, you've got like a lot less. It's not all depending on one exam, but you literally have to work like the whole year, and then you can get like a good grade in the end.
Yes.
So I don't know. I like the people, like they were a lot more motivated to really make something, to make something from it. So that's why I like Australia better.
And
But
how about
I don't know, like what.
how
Hmm?
about the university? Is it the same in the Netherlands, like
What do
like
you
with the
mean?
high school and middle school? Is it like the grading system, etc.? Is it the same?
No, because like in the Netherlands, of course, you've got like all these different levels. Like after elementary school, you are basically put into a level, and that you've got like three, and then you've got like VWO, you've got
No, what I mean, like,
HAVO.
is that like the university, is it graded the same as like high school?
I don't know, I've never been to an Australian
I am
university, so I
talking
don't
about the
know.
Netherlands.
But compared to what?
To Dutch high school and middle school, like, is it the same? Like the testing, the grading. Like, I don't know about the Dutch university system, so I'm asking, like, is it the same?
Oh, yeah. Like it's still 1 to 10, and it's just you like at least the course that I follow, you don't really have like you've got like 10 weeks. A block is like 10 weeks, and exam week is week 9, and then week 10 is like a week off, basically a week in between. But you don't really have exams like in between. It's just exams week 9, and the other 8 weeks is basically building up to week 9. So you can do your exam or hand something in depending on what like the thing is, but just still get like a grade from 1 to 10, basically.
Okay.
And 5.5 is like sufficient.
Okay.
You pass the class. Yeah.
Because
I don't know, like is in Korea, is it really different then?
like, I don't know about the high school actually, like how they grade in high school, but in the university they have this system that 30%, only 30% can get an A, 70% can get a B, and the rest gets a C or lower. And so if, for example, everyone is really good and everyone has like, like really high scores at the test, or like really, like attendance is great, like they had like handed in their like all their assignments, and you have like these A's, all these A's, but of course only 30% can get an A of all the students. So what happens is, for example, if you have on the test like 100 score is, for example, the best on the score, but you have one student who has, for example, 95, and another has 94, but like the 95 gets an A and the 94 gets a B, for example, if they are like on the splitting point. So that is why that, I don't know how you say that in English, but that they have that system in university. And what I noticed is a lot of students, they study really, really, really hard to get in a good university, but once they get in a good university, it's like, as long as I pass, I am good, kind of like that kind of culture.
Yeah.
But I am not a really big fan of that whole that system, like that you have to be dependent on the other students to basically get an A or get a B. Like it's just like how good you did is how good you did, right? It should be like that. But I mean, who am I to complain? I usually pass for my classes. Like, I don't know if it's the foreigner pass or what, but I haven't had any problem yet with passing my classes.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah, and I'm almost finished,
That's
so
good.
I'm really happy about that. Can you speak Korean?
Yeah. Can I speak Korean? 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
사랑해.
사랑해. 아, 이거 Koreaboe.
Do I know anything else?
감사합니다. You know 감사합니다.
감사합니다, yeah.
And do you know how to introduce yourself? Introduce yourself.
Maybe, like, did you ever, like, I think, what is it? Maybe I, like...
Yeah, you can say, for example, informal 저는 blah blah blah입니다.
What?
저는 이스입니다.
저는 이스입니다.
Oh, since it said that you are really good, you're speaking Korean perfectly, and that you look cute while doing it.
Natural.
You're a natural Korean speaker. But
저는 이스입니다. All right.
okay, and what else? Like, you can, for example, say, I am Dutch. 저는 네덜란드 사람입니다.
저는 네덜란드.
네덜란드 사람입니다. 네덜란드 사람. Like, but you know what is so frustrating for me? Because we have the French air, right? Like that one, right?
It's more like an R with like a G kind of.
Like it's in the back of your throat, and
yeah, it's not a rolling tongue R like in Spanish. You've got like like I can't do it, but like it's like the really like, yeah.
But like
I can't
but
do it.
because of that, like because we are in Korean, you have this the lil, and it can, depending on its position and depending on which letter is before or behind it, it can has a little bit like an R sounding sound, and me not being able to pronounce the R sound correctly like an American, I say, for example, the I say and people have sometimes trouble understanding what I'm saying because of that. Like also when I speak Japanese, like you have, for example, the that also kind of a sound like the between the L and the R, and for example like ara ara, and I say like that, but like the Japanese is different, kind of.
But is it more like an American R,
Like,
like
not
really
R. It's not the R.
like a pirate R?
No, but that is kind of like a struggle that I'm still struggling with to this day. Like people have tried to teach me how to pronounce it, but I still can't do it. And to be honest, I'm not gonna put any more effort in that. Like, I'm sorry, but
Well, there are probably like exercises that you can train it with, right? I guess.
it
I
has
suppose.
it has to. I don't really know actually. I've
But
just.
are you still like also practicing like Russian and stuff like that? Because you
Da,
were like,
как ваши дела? That is the only thing that I can remember. I have been studying this semester Japanese a lot.
okay.
I haven't studied Russian in a while actually, but I can
Well,
still
can you
read
speak
it.
a little bit of Japanese?
はい、私はスレナです。Um, wait! はじめまして。はじめまして。私は大学学生です。Good.
Okay.
거의 한국인 안녕하세요. 네, 오랜만이네요. 오늘도 네, 하지메마시테. 私は So, but I mean, I should practice speaking Japanese, but I am actually quite good with grammar. Because this semester I focused on grammar a lot, and I think I'm quite good with grammar actually. 네, 하루 종일 안녕하세요. 네, 오늘 새로운 들어오신 분들한테 오늘 이렇게 우리 동생이랑 이렇게 같이 방송을 하게 됐네요. 네, 혹시 질문이든지 있으시면 언제든지 물어보시고 혹시나 영어로 잘 안 되시면 번역하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 우리는 그리고 아마 모르신 분도 있겠지만 그래도 있으시는 우리는 쌍둥이에요. 그래서 그 혹시 쌍둥이 관련된 거 궁금하시면 지금 꼭 물어보시면 될 것 같아요. Someone says here in the comments that we are both very beautiful and pretty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But a lot of people, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you look so much alike" when I show them a picture, and I'm like, we don't look alike. We are different.
Well, I think, when my hair is like gone, I don't think people will have a problem,
Is that a
seeing the
spoiler?
difference.
A spoiler!
It's not a spoiler. I'm not connecting it to anything. I'm just like hinting at it.
You're hinting at it that you're losing your hair.
Well, I'm shaving it, but I'm not losing it. It doesn't just fall off.
No. Okay. Someone asked if our personalities are the same or if they're completely different. I would say our personalities are in a sense similar, but we have like our interests and just kind of things we like to do, just how we do things. It's just really different. Elaborate.
Yeah. Well, I would say that also like our personalities, like definitely got like a similar sense of like humor and stuff like that. Like, but I think also our like personalities are a little bit different. Like I have the feeling, but I don't know like if that's correct. But like, but maybe it changes as well. That I don't even know like what the differences are, but like just in certain situations, I think I would react differently than you would. Um, so yeah, I think also because of course our interests were really different, and that has always been a thing. So yeah, I think because we're such different people, and we've got like such different lives as well.
Yeah.
It would be weird if we would have the same personality, in my opinion. I think that's maybe not correct, that I'm a little bit more extroverted than you are.
Introvert for life!
I think so. Um, but maybe because I don't know, like what Celine is, I don't know, goes out and
Let me
does
say,
stuff.
I am not like if I'm with the right people, I am really talkative. But if just meeting new people, I usually am depending on the other people to start talking to me. Except if it's, for example, if I immediately feel like comfortable to talk with someone. But otherwise, I usually wait for the other person to engage in someone else. And of course, like I think maybe it's also because we have just grown so much up, like
We
up
haven't
in
grown
different.
apart. That's a completely different
I mean,
saying.
like we have grown like in different environments, like kind of like that. Like we have had different friends, we had different friends group, we went to different schools. So we have had like a chance to develop like also like in our personality a lot differently. Like for example, like I have completely different hobbies and interests than Isis, for example. Like of course we have the same kind of like maybe modeling, that kind of interest, but I am really interested in like I watch anime, I like playing games, I am like interested in like like Asian countries, I like horse riding. Isis did horse riding as well, but it's not really like her passion as it's as mine. And I just think we had, because we have had a chance to grow up so differently, that we became actually like quite individual persons. Like, what are your hobbies? Someone wants to know your hobbies.
Yeah, so my hobbies are well, I like, yeah, I wouldn't really call it a hobby, but I'm an actress, so I would guess theater is a hobby of mine. Dancing, I dance. I started like the piano, playing the piano again. Like I've done that when I was a little child, and I started doing it again right now. So that's a hobby. And apart from that, I just like filmmaking, really. So really creative. Yeah, creative stuff, I guess. That's basically like hobbies. And because I'm quite busy with like school and stuff like that at the moment, I don't really have time to do anything else. But yeah, I would guess like theater, dancing, instruments like music. I also started taking singing lessons, so I guess that would be a hobby because I don't really like make money of it. It's more like a fun thing to do. So that's basically my kind of thing, my hobbies.
Okay, and that sounds good.
But
Anyway, hmm?
well, what I wanted to say is that because I dance, but you don't really like to dance, right?
No,
That's
I
also a
am
big
not a
difference.
dancer.
No. So, we've got like, yeah, and
And another really interesting thing that is actually quite different, like our clothing style. I
yeah.
think, of course, we dressed quite similar, but I think we have like our clothing style has changed so much. Also, probably depending on our living environments. Like
Yeah.
I also like wearing makeup and that kind of thing. Also, is quite different.
Yeah, because I usually what my clothing style, I think it's also basically it's but it's more like, I would say, more urban kind of. Like I really like to just wear although I have to say that I also started wearing more dress lately, but more like, you know, like sweatpants or like jeans with like, I don't know, like a hoodie or something like that. Like more I guess also what basically because I like the dance style that I do is more like hip hop, like urban kind, like more like the urban kind of clothing style, I guess, and also like more sporty because if I really don't feel like wearing anything, I usually just put like a pair of leggings on with a sweater and like a biker jacket or something like that. So that's more like my style. I think Selene has more. I don't know, like what kind of clothes do you wear?
It really depends on my mood, of course. And if I just run errands, I usually just put on like some yoga pants and some t-shirt or something. But I like to wear dresses and skirts most of the time. I am not a big fan of. I'm not really not a big fan of pants actually. Pants never fit me, especially in Korea. Pants don't fit me. Like, or they are too short, but they fit me, like around the hips. Or they fit me, or they don't fit me around the hips. They're too wide, and they are the right length.
Yeah.
So like, but I just prefer skirts. It's just I don't know. I've come to love skirts a lot more, and I love to wear makeup. I love to experiment with makeup these days. Like, I'm trying to do like different makeup styles, and these days I'm actually more into cosplaying as well. And so I'm like trying, like today I'm just doing like a little bit like bouldering. Oh,
Yeah.
Sakshi Sharma, welcome to our live stream. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, I don't usually wear makeup also because in my line of work you have to wear quite a lot of makeup like on set and everything. So I actually when I don't have to wear makeup, I usually don't wear makeup. I'm also a little bit lazy like when it comes to makeup when I have to like wake up early and I'm like, oh no, no God, no. I'd rather just bare face just. So yeah, I didn't really like. I think that's also a big difference between us that you're more into makeup and everything. I don't really like. I don't mind it. Like I like it, but not like on a daily basis. Just like for a shoot or something like that.
Yeah, like for example, if I go grocery shopping, I don't wear makeup. But for example, if I go, like to school or if I'm meeting some friends, I always try to do makeup at least. Okay, Isis, what is the most impressive place you have ever traveled?
Ooh, phew, well, like beautiful. If we're like, because impressive that can mean so many things because like went to places that just have a very like intense experience. Like we went to the concentration camp in like Dachau.
Dachau.
That's really
Mm-hmm.
intense. Like that's really like it's also impressive, but in a very different impressive way than, for example, the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. So I think like to when we went to the concentration camp, I think that was one of the most intense things that on the like places to and also like Nuremberg and stuff with the whole Zeppelin thing and stuff. That was really like just because you're like so aware of what had happened there. Um, most beautiful. I think. Were you in Australia still? Um, well, one of the most beautiful places that I know is Sydney, and especially like the harbor with like the bridge and the opera house. I think that's just sitting there, just like when you're sitting there with your back like to the city, and you can see like the opera house like over here, and the bridge is over there, and you can see just the water. It's so nice. Like it's beautiful. Like I think that's one of the most beautiful things like I've ever like cities that I've ever really seen. And what else? And I think when we went like diving, it wasn't really diving, but when we went to that island and we went like snorkeling and we saw like all the beautiful fish and the
Mm-hmm.
coral
Ah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
reef as well in Australia. So I guess any place really in Australia is beautiful. Like there are so many beautiful like hikes, just 1 hour like 1 hour drive like, from the city. So I think it's really difficult to like say one thing that is like it. Like I can't think of one right now, but yeah, that was like also going to like the beautiful when we like drove from the east side to the west side of the island. You can literally also just like those really small villages of like 10 houses. It's like it's so intriguing in a way or something, you know, even though it's like so small, it's so intriguing to see that people actually live there in such a small community. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already 8, so if you, I will just accept one more question. 그 혹시 그 8시 다 됐으니까 혹시 그 마지막 질문만 한번 받아보도록 할 건데, 그래서 빨리 지금 질문하시면 그거 마지막 질문을 물어보시고, 그리고 그 오늘 미리 그 오늘 다 이렇게 시청해 주셔서 진심으로 감사하고, 꼭 다음에도 이렇게 같이 방송을 할 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다. 네, so if there are no questions anymore, really big thank you for Isis for joining today in our live stream, and I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. And of course, I hope to see you next time. And again, really big thank you. It was really enjoyable talking with my sister for a long time. Usually we don't talk this long.
Yeah. Yeah, the time went so fast, I have to say. I didn't even notice that, you know, it's been an hour already. Like, I think someone asked a question, but I can't
Yeah, are
read
you
it.
planning to come to Korea?
Well, yeah, I hope so. But you know, with the whole Corona lockdown at the moment, it's a bit difficult because when I would go there, I would have to go into like quarantine for 2 weeks, and that's a bit, yeah, a shame. So probably not in the next, like, not this summer, maybe next summer or otherwise another time. But definitely, I'll definitely go there again because I've been there once. Yeah, definitely just visit like my sister. So yeah, absolutely. But I don't know when because it's like so like insecure, like what's Corona and stuff like. They don't want to go into quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like waiting and seeing what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
and one more question. Which country do you want to visit?
The USA. I really want to go to America.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. We have to finish because it's already like over past 8. And thank you for joining today. I really hope you enjoyed our live stream. Of course, Isis will join maybe another time as well. So also follow her on Instagram. I will leave it in the comments down below, in the description down below. I will leave her Instagram. Follow her there too. And I will hope to see you everyone next week. 네, 오늘 여기까지만 하고 꼭 오늘 시청해주셔서 진심으로 감사하고요. 다음 주는 꼭 다음 주도 다시 이렇게 방송에는 보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 여러분 안녕. 안녕 이세스.
Bye.
안녕.
안녕. 안녕.